I can zip them up, button them, but they're fucking uncomfortable right now. And I don't like it.
Sure.
I don't like it one fucking bit. But here's what I'm not going to do.
What are we not going to do?
Not going to go into a fucking calorie deficit. Okay. That's the thing that I'm not going to do. I know it's because I've been fucking overeating for like a week right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not even that much. Just I've been eating things that I
More than
don't
you normally would.
more than I normally would. I still get my workouts in. I still got my steps, but I'm just having a lot of fucking cookies and whatever. So you just go back to what you were doing. And that's just what I'm doing. All right, let's have our normal meals. I don't need fucking 20 cookies today.
Yeah.
Welcome to Cut the Crap with Beth and Matt, the world's #1 no bullshit health and fitness podcast.
Are you ready to cut the crap with your diet and exercise, get strong as fuck, and build a healthy relationship with food? Then you've come to the right place.
Let's go. If you'd like to support us in the podcast, join our Patreon where you get exclusive content, which consists of monthly workouts you can do at home or at the gym, monthly challenges that are either strength, habit, or mindset based, and access to over 100 plus low-calorie, high-protein, family-friendly meals. These are all designed by a professional chef who is certified in nutrition. These recipes are already in MyFitnessPal for easy fucking tracking. New recipes are also added each week.
We believe that fitness is for everyone, so this is our way of getting you started on your health and fitness journey at a price most everyone can afford. So what the fuck are you waiting for? We'll see you in the Patreon.
Nerdle alert! We are back.
We are back. What's
Hello.
up, guys?
Hi. Okay, post-Christmas special. How are you feeling? How was your holiday? How was your birthday? Tell us
My
everything. Slow down.
Oh my God. It was amazing. It was awesome. My birthday was great. We went to New Hampshire to the White Mountains. We stayed at the Mount Washington Hotel, which is right in front of Mount Washington. So that was really cool. And there was festivities there every day. The place is so massive. I mean, I got probably like 16, 17,000 steps. And that is just walking the fucking hotel.
Just the hotel?
Dude, it is like miles long. Just to get to my room was like a fucking quarter of a mile. Literally,
Okay.
like every time. And so, I mean, I loved it. Because I was like, fuck
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure.
I mean,
Walk
let's
everywhere.
fucking peruse.
That's like your
You
dream
know?
right there, having to walk.
Yeah. So, I mean, just walking to like the restaurant. So the whole place has like 4 or 5 restaurants in there. There's like little stores. There's an arcade. I mean, there's all different. There's a foyer, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that is so long. And there's Christmas trees and lights. It was like basically living in a Christmas dream. I'm Christmased the fuck out though. I don't need any more Christmas
After
cookies.
being in that area there for a few days, I can imagine.
Yeah, because I mean, every day.
It's always Christmas there when you're there that time of year, right?
Yeah. And then so every afternoon from 3 o'clock on, they had these different rooms that anyone can go to if you're staying there. And they had tables of fucking so many treats. They had like this extravagant hot cocoa bar and then apple cider or hot apple cider and then cookies that you'll never see unless, it's like an event like this. I don't eat cookies like that. Like no one makes me fancy fucking cookies. So of course I was like eating all the cookies. Loved it. And then we did like a sleigh ride and it was probably like 20 below zero. It was so fucking cold, but it was
Bundle
so
up.
awesome because it was snowing. I mean, it was just so great. We went on hikes that were full of snow. It was snowing the whole time we were there.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Winter Wonderland.
It was. It really was. The food was so good.
That's what they call Michigan, is like Winter Wonderland. And I think that's funny because I think you must have gotten some questions about where you were staying.
Everyone thought I was in Michigan. I was like, you guys, I'm not in fucking Michigan. Why would I be in Michigan right now?
Yeah, back in
They're like, it's Mackinac Island. I'm like, no, this is Mount Washington. You're at the hotel from The Shining. I'm like, no, I'm not in Colorado. So
good guesses, though. Good guesses.
Yeah, great guesses. No, but it was a really fun time. And then of course, Christmas and more Christmas cookies. So all my pants are tight right now. All of them, not just one pair, every single fucking pair I own. And here's the thing. It's not like they're tight to the point where I can't wear them. I can zip them up, button them, but they're fucking uncomfortable right now. And I don't like it.
Sure.
I don't like it one fucking bit. But here's what I'm not going to do.
What are we
I
not
am
going to do?
not going to go into a fucking calorie deficit. Okay. That's the thing that I'm not going to do. I know it's because I've been fucking overeating for like a week right now.
Mm-hmm.
And not even that much. Just I've been eating
Just
things that
more
I
than you
don't
normally would.
more
And this is,
than I normally would. I still get my workouts in. I still got my steps, but I'm just having a lot of fucking cookies and whatever. So you just go back to what you were doing. And that's just what I'm doing. All right, let's have our normal meals. I don't need fucking 20 cookies today.
yeah, that's a really important thing for like getting back on track, right? But also
Yeah.
how you were feeling, right? That feeling where your pants were a little tight, you know.
I don't like that. Yesterday,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
tried to
That's
put
not a
on
pleasant feeling.
my Christmas outfits, and I was like, motherfucker, my red
Mhm.
pants that I just bought that fit me 2 weeks ago are really uncomfortable right now. I don't like this
Right.
shit. Like, fuck this.
And
I'm
what
done.
people probably don't realize too is like, sure, was there, I mean, in that small amount of time, was there a little bit of fat gain? Perhaps, right? Maybe in
Maybe.
that week, but most of it is just, you know, just some, you know, more food and water retention, inflammation. Right?
Yeah, seriously, and not to TMI or anything. Well, this may be TMI, but I've already shit like fucking 4 times today.
Hey, this
So
is
that
our
just
podcast.
this is yeah, you know, that just tells me I have a lot of extra food in my belly.
Yeah.
I'm retaining a ton of water just because, you know, things that I'm not normally doing.
There are things people don't think about, and then they've experienced these things and freak the
Yes.
fuck out, and that's why they
Right.
crash
They're like, oh
diet.
my God, my pants are fucking It's like, yeah, but I know what to do.
Right.
I'm going back to maintenance. I don't need to go into
You
a
go back to
deficit.
eating your fruits and veggies,
My
your fat
normal-
and protein.
And then my pants will start to fit normally and not so tight around the waist.
Yeah.
That's
Eating
it.
those foods that make you feel good and perform
Yeah.
well, right? Because those
Yes.
foods that you were eating when you were in New Hampshire, is it right?
New Hampshire,
New
yeah.
Hampshire. Those were foods that sure they maybe made you feel good in that moment, right?
Yeah.
And made you
Yeah.
happy in that moment, but they didn't definitely make your body feel good.
Right. Of course. I mean, of course I'm gonna have fancy cookies in front of a fucking Christmas tree with all this Christmas music and festivities going
Right.
on. You know, I'm like, this is
We want
so
people
fun.
to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was enjoying my life.
Mm.
And then, you know, Christmas isn't too far from my birthday. So it's like they're basically combined.
Yeah, for sure. So just keep it going. No, I'm just kidding.
You know?
But it's just those two separate events that are right together. So
Yeah, I mean,
and then,
I
and then
literally
we have New Year starting here in a few days.
right. I mean, I got home for my event, went back to what I normally do, and then it was Christmas again. So my mother-in-law brings her shortbread cookies, my father-in-law brings, you know, and they're all things that I only get once a year
Mm-hmm.
because I don't make them any other time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I can't believe New Year is literally, you know, 4 or 5 days away when this episode comes out tomorrow because we're recording
Isn't
on
that
Thursday.
crazy?
It'll be the 27th. So
Yeah.
this is our last episode of the year, actually.
Wow.
Look at that.
Check us out.
I'm ready to clock out on 2024, honestly. I'm ready to start crushing 2025.
For reals.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah. I took some photos today after I'm going to go back to the feeling fluffy thing.
Yeah.
So I took some photos today after the gym and I was like, feeling fluffy and being fluffy are two different fucking things.
Feeling
You
is
know?
a feeling, right? It's not
It's a
actually state
feeling.
of being.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, just
That's
chill
why
the fuck out.
when people say I feel fat, like, oh, shut up. Like you're like fat isn't a feeling. No.
Right.
How do you feel fat? No, maybe you feel lethargic. Maybe you feel bloated. Maybe you feel whatever. Put a
Right.
fucking name to the feeling.
Yeah. Drinking lots of water today.
Yeah, hydrate, which I'm sure you were
Mhm.
doing while you were
Oh,
gone,
I'm
but
sure.
right now, especially because you're feeling that fluffiness, hydration will help to not feel fluffy.
Yeah. How was your Christmas, Matt?
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I got to spend it. Christmas Eve, I spent it with my parents. Me and Riker Dutch went over to my parents,
Mhm.
and then he spent the night with me. It's always nice having your kid with you Christmas morning.
Yeah.
I think most years we usually rotate back and forth. He was with me this year, so I spent the first half of the day with him. He went home with his mom after that, and then I went to the gym. And I was thinking about that actually. I was like, wow, now that I'm thinking about it, reflecting, like I work out most Christmases. I'm at the gym most Christmases.
Yeah.
And I went back on a time warp then yesterday after that, looking back at old videos and stuff too.
Uh-huh.
So kind of got me reminiscing. I was like, yep. I think part of the reason why, first of all, it's just another day a lot of the times too.
Yeah.
because I don't treat it as like this big thing. But, as a parent who does shared parenting too, it's a holiday. So
Yeah.
most of my holidays are shared, and that's fine. We're great co-parenters, but still you do have that void in a way so then I go to the gym and take care of myself and practice some self-care. So it feels good. Crushed my
Yeah.
workout yesterday. Felt really good.
Nice. My gym wasn't open on Christmas.
No?
Mm-mm.
You're a Planet Fitness? I guess,
Yeah,
yes.
so
Yeah, because my
I went
gym
Monday
is
and Tuesday, so
my gym is keyless, and they don't have
right.
anybody. It's 24/7, and they don't have anybody manned
That's nice.
after hours.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
got it. So that's also something. So when I was reminiscing yesterday about all the other Christmases that I've worked out and stuff, this was while I was working out yesterday. I was kind of made this observation. I was like, wow, I'm not as strong as I once was. Right. So yesterday, and that's something I've been talking about, is building my strength back up, especially with barbell work and stuff. That's a different stimulus that I've been used to for a while. And so yesterday I squatted 225 pounds. I worked up to 225 pounds after doing some sets of 5. And I did that for a set of 2. And that was pretty tough. That was a nice challenge. That's a far cry from what I was squatting just, 3 years ago on Christmas. I looked it up, 355 pounds for sets of 2 just 3 years ago. Big difference.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with that. For a
Yeah.
lot of people, they might, I feel like they compare themselves to this person they were, and we see that a lot, right? With weight loss, especially. Like, I just want to
Yeah.
weigh, what I did back in college. I want to weigh what I
Right.
did 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Which completely kind of dismisses where you are currently, right? Like, sure, am I not as strong in that lift right now? No. Is that a goal of mine? Absolutely not. That's not a goal
Yeah.
of mine, right? 3 years ago, my goal was to get as strong as I fucking could with one thing, right? I just wanted to go to the gym and lift that weights one time as heavy as I could. And it's not a goal of mine anymore. Now I want to,
Right.
go running and do all those other things.
And plus, for you to think that you can actually lift the same you did 3 years ago without any training,
Without training in that way,
that would be fucked up to think that way.
for sure.
You have to like logically look at the situation.
Yeah, exactly. I have not been training that way at all. That's a completely
That's like
different modality and form of training.
me thinking that I can run a specific time with my running when I haven't been doing it. It's like, yeah, I was so good. That's because I was running every fucking day.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I don't do that anymore.
Exactly.
So I'm not going to be the same.
Right. And here's the other thing too, is like, I am glad. Like, I don't want to be that same person I was 3 years ago. I've grown and learned a lot in that time. So why would I compare myself? Like, if I want to only look at like those highlights, we should also look at like the other aspects too of what we're kind of comparing ourselves to. It's like, no, I was really strong then in that one lift doing that one thing, but I'm happier now. I'm different in a lot of different ways, right? So that's ultimately what matters. Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
And we've talked about that before, like the comparison. The comparison is the thief of joy. We did a whole episode about that one.
Yeah. So true.
And
I'm guilty of it.
Sure.
I just don't know. I think sometimes what I do is that I guess I can explain it this way first. I used to live in LA, right? So, and I have worked in the movie industry and been behind the scenes, and I know what it takes to make a movie. I know, like, I've been on the sets, and now when I watch TV, I have a hard time really getting into it because I know it's fake. I know what happens. I know the takes. I know sometimes there's people filling in for people and they're not doing their own fucking stunts. So it's different for me because I used to be working in that industry, right? And the same goes for me now in the fitness industry. So if I see someone online, I may look at them, and then, seeing what they eat and stuff never really correlates with their body. So it's like, I get into this, I don't know if that really goes together type of thing. And then I start to second guess other people's motives. And I'm like, I don't know, like, knowing what I know and what you're showing, that doesn't make fucking sense to me. And so that,
I know
you know
exactly
what I'm saying?
What you're talking about, Beth.
And so that part gets
it's like you're
to me.
showing one type of living and one type of lifestyle, but we know the things that you're showing and the things you're doing, they don't match up. They don't add up.
Right. And some of those people are people I know.
Yeah.
And that bothers me. That fucking bothers me. So I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just knowing what you know.
Well, yeah, knowing what you know. And I think where I felt like you were going with this was the sustainability factor, because you know,
Mhm.
you see the things behind the scenes in the entertainment industry, and you
Yeah.
probably saw also from a body image and physique standpoint what it took and what people were doing to obtain
Yeah.
those things and how unnatural and unhealthy that was. And then
Mhm.
so like, that's kind of what I took that
Yeah.
away from that.
Yeah. Oh, the comparison. That's
The
where we were
comparison,
going with this.
yeah.
That's why I was like, why did I start talking about that? Okay. Like
Because yeah,
comparing
okay,
because
because you don't know what the other person's doing, right?
right. And
What
so
the
therefore, stop comparing yourself to someone on fucking social media
yeah.
because you don't know what the fuck they're doing. If you see someone with chiseled abs, okay, especially a woman in her 40s and 50s, okay,
Okay,
I
what
wa-
is she? Yeah.
I want you to really ask yourself, what the fuck is she doing, and does that compare to what she's showing?
Is she
Because
showing me the
let me
nightly
just
big
tell
bowl of
you,
ice cream and you can
for
eat anything you want?
yeah, it may come down to genetics. Let me just not discern that. What
Small
it
factor, let's be
takes
real here.
to be that lean consistently,
Yeah.
it is not fucking easy. Let me just say.
Especially for women.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially for women. You can, for the most part, get down like about 15% body fat and start to get vision. Like you really want to see about 10% for abs.
Yeah.
But for women to get that body that low is
You need to
unhealthy.
be rigid as fuck.
Yeah.
You're not having anything fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that.
Mm-hmm. Especially if that's a year-round look that you're selling.
I
'Cause
mean,
that's not, you should not be photo shoot ready, beach ready, whatever you want to call it, year
no,
round.
that'd be like me staying the lean as I was, I guess, this summer or leaner throughout the year, like consistently.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, it's one season of life. It's not meant to be a forever thing.
Yeah, like bodybuilders looking like bodybuilders year round. That takes some discipline,
It does.
a
And even
lot of
bodybuilders
fucking
go in off seasons
rigid eating,
yeah.
you know?
That's the other thing, right? People don't understand that in order to get that look, you're not just constantly dieting though either.
No,
You have to take time off of being
right.
restrictive, and you actually need to build, because if you're just trying to diet down to fucking nothing, you have no
Yeah.
muscle to show. Yeah, you'll diet down to nothing, and that's what people do, where they're
Mhm.
still quote unquote overweight, but they don't have the body that they like, because they have
Right.
poor body composition, because they're under muscled, because they've been doing
Mhm.
the dieting and the things like that without giving the time that it needs to be in a at least maintenance or
Yeah.
a slight surplus to actually build
Mhm.
some realistic muscle for an extended amount of time, so that you have that base to fall back off of. And when you do go into a calorie deficit, your body actually has some body fat to
Yeah.
lose, rather than just wanting to take muscle.
Your body has to be ready to be in a deficit.
It does. It does.
Yeah. And that's
if
what
you've been
Coach Kelly
chronically
tells me all the
dieting,
time. Yeah. She's like, we're building right now, and your body needs to be ready to be in a deficit. So we're like, you just keep eating
these
and
are
building.
conversations I don't think people are ready to hear, Beth, because I tell
No,
you,
they're not.
People won't sign up with me when I tell them, like, you should not be going into fat loss phase, and I will not put you into fat loss phase.
Exactly.
Your last coach
Exactly.
did that for you, and look how fucked up you are.
And if you want it, yeah, it's just not everyone should be dieting when they're dieting.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, I shouldn't be going into a diet right now. I just ended a diet in September.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, no, it's building muscle time, and it's time to eat, and it's time to be uncomfortable. And then I'm not like overweight and fucking huge, I'm just, to get to where I want to go, I have to be uncomfortable. And I'm talking about it. Just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? This is only a blip in my time.
Mhm.
And when I'm ready to get shreddy, I'm gonna
Ready
be
to
fucking
get shreddy.
I'm gonna be pumped of what I did.
Mhm.
And so
But you can't go and get that physique next summer without doing the work that you're doing right now and being intentional with
correct.
eating and building.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody wants to get that toned look, but nobody want to eat no fucking food and lift no heavy ass weights.
Right.
Everybody want to get big, but nobody want to lift some heavy ass weights. I think Ronnie Coleman says that, perhaps.
Oh,
or
that's
something.
too
I'm
funny.
not
It's
sure.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's like everyone wants to get shredded, but no one wants to climb the mountain. So there's all different kinds of,
all kinds of awesome analogies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, you have to be very intentional. There's more to life than being a constant calorie deficit and a constant
Yeah.
fat loss phase.
Exactly.
And hopefully people listening have learned that by
Yeah.
listening to us.
Right. And when I say all these things, like my pants are tight, I'm uncomfortable, these are all normal feelings.
Mm-hmm.
They're, you know what I'm saying?
Just
And
because you're a coach
talking,
doesn't mean we don't feel those things.
yeah,
You
I
don't
mean,
feel
I
those
just
things,
sent Kelly all this stuff today, and it's like we talk about this all the time because that's what it's about. I'm not
right?
hiding. I'm not like, oh my God, I'm just talking about it because these are real. My feelings are valid. Like everyone's feelings are valid. It's just, what do you do
Yep.
with them? What are you going to
Exactly.
do with those feelings?
Yeah. Like here I am, talking about comparing myself to who I was a few years ago. Like
Right.
we all do these things. And I
Yeah.
think that's going back to the whole coaches online thing. That's really what also rubs me the wrong way is when I'm only seeing a coach, even especially like a lifestyle coach, in parentheses there, quotations. But
Mhm.
when they're not showing the bad, like you don't have to be doom and gloom, but don't show people your struggles too, man. Like
Mhm.
show them when you're going through a tough time, when you're sad. Like you don't owe that to anybody. You need to have your boundaries for sure, but let people know
Yeah.
when you're struggling. Let them know that it's fucking okay, that you do it too.
Mhm.
Like just be a
Right.
person instead of just a coach all the time.
Yeah. I can tell you in 2025, I'm sick of the fucking curated social media bullshit, the editing, the fucking draw. I mean, I'm just done.
Yeah. Let's go back to 2020 TikTok, Beth, where everything is just
I'm
raw,
staying in
unedited.
220 and 2020 zone. Like you'll seriously.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not.
to be honest, I don't put a lot of I'd rather put effort into my message of my content rather than like what it fucking looks like.
I'm not adding AI bullshit to my shit. You won't see me floating in the fucking air.
I'm so over AI.
Honestly, Matt, I'm fucking done with AI, and it hasn't even begun.
Our coaching industry is going to be. We already see it used in a lot of nefarious ways.
It's kind of creepy. I see it more on Facebook than anything.
Well, and people on Facebook are gullible. There's no fact checking on Facebook with like AI images. I mean,
everyone's using AI. It's like, are you that fucking lame?
Oh, I see.
I
see what you're talking about. Well, yeah, because Facebook has a fucking AI thing built into it. Like all the time, it's like create your AI avatar. I'm like, I don't want to create an AI avatar.
It's always pushing this AI shit towards me. I'm like, no.
I sound like a grumpy old man, don't we?
I know, right? But I'm not down with that. I think it's way too fake. It is fake.
Yeah.
Trying, like, what are we doing? What is happening?
We're missing the human connection.
I feel like AI is going to ruin us as a society. I really do.
Well, it's a powerful tool. It's a really powerful tool if used for the right reasons. I'm not completely against AI, but in our industry, like there's some ways that AI can be beneficial, but the ways I'm seeing AI used in our industry, it's like what I'm seeing is coaches selling custom coaching and it's actually an AI bot. That's not okay.
No.
That's unethical.
That's creepy.
Right. Or using AI bots to message everybody. Comment the word chat.
Yeah,
right?
that drives me nuts too.
Right away. No, you won't. Your fucking bot will.
Yeah.
Full disclosure. I say that. I say comment the word X and I'll send you a message. But guess who's sending the message? I am. It's going to take me maybe 5 hours to send it later or whenever I fucking can get to it.
That's why I don't do that because I don't have time to fucking respond to all that shit. And I'm not dealing with a fucking chat GPT in my fucking DMs.
For sure. Well, Beth, you have a lot larger audience than I, so I'll get 5 people replying, so I can handle that.
Oh my God. But I think that's so, what is the word I want to say? You're not really relating to the people. You're just sending a fucking automatic response. You're not talking to anybody.
I can give a great example of this. And I saw this. Are you in any like coaching groups on Facebook? I'm in a couple of I'm in a for Precision Nutrition, which is a nutrition cert. They have like a couple of different groups in there. And the one is there for coaches. And I see so much shit that's borderline illegal in their coaches are doing. Well, and this one is just probably unethical. It is unethical. But this guy says he's a really great success rate with his in-person fitness clients, but now he's trying to make the move online, but he has found that his retention sucks. One woman started with him after a week and wanted a refund. And then like, what can I do to improve my service? And he explained all the things he's doing to do his service. And one of the first things he's doing to improve his service and build a relationship with his clients, can you guess what it was?
Oh my God, no.
He outsourced somebody to message his clients every morning and check in with them.
What?
I can fucking tell you right there why your client wanted a refund after a week, my guy.
He couldn't do it himself?
What the fuck is wrong? Then he can't. That's too time consuming, Beth, to check in with my clients myself. Like what?
can't.
This is what people are doing. And I'm like, motherfucker, I report like, no, this is not okay. I'm like, this is where you went wrong. I don't know how I haven't gotten banned from those groups yet, because I'm always
Wow.
calling coaches out.
I'm surprised.
Another
Yeah,
coach last
right.
week, he's a personal trainer. He was asking about milk supply for his client that is a new mother, and can not having enough calories impact her milk supply. I'm like, dude, way outside of your scope of practice. And I approached him kindly about it. I was like, if you're asking this kind of question, you should be referring out. Recognize your scope of practice, because yes, nutrition can absolutely impact a woman's milk supply, and you are clearly outside of your wheelhouse. This is why you should be referring out to a registered dietitian or something. He responded, I'm aware of scope of practice, but I'm going to handle this one on my own. Thank you. I still have the screenshots. I thought about calling to do it out, and I still might, but like, this is what's going on in Facebook groups for coaches, or like just, private groups, group chats for coaches. You realize how inept most of this industry is, and how much like bad shit this industry is actually doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you'll actually realize how many coaches don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. 100%.
That is frightening.
We're not afraid to talk about it, though.
No wonder why people
don't
are
talk about this
afraid
shit
to
in the
sign up for
industry.
coaching. And no wonder people are afraid of scams, all kinds of shit. Let me just tell you one thing. So when I did the scholarship, I was going to give away 6 months free one-on-one coaching to somebody for my 52nd birthday.
Right.
I decided
Which
to give 3.
You've done before.
Yes, 2 years ago for my 50th birthday. I don't do scholarships very much. When I turned 50, that was my first one, and
got it.
This is my second 2 years ago. So I probably won't do another one for a couple of years. But instead I gave away 3 one-on-one coaching scholarships, because I couldn't just pick one.
Yeah.
And then we decided to give everybody who entered a partial scholarship, like I think it was like 1 or 2 months off coaching.
Yeah.
So they got a text saying that you want a partial scholarship, And so many people thought it was a fucking scam. I'm like, why would I first?
So they trust you to sign up for your like potentially free coaching service, but then when you're saying, hey, like you didn't get it, but if you do still want to work with us, you can do it at a better rate, and that's a scam?
Apparently.
Like, obviously you valued our coaching enough to like, but now you think it's a scam because we're
now,
saying, hey.
Now the text message that they got that's saying it's a scam. Why would a fitness company send you a text message that didn't ask you for any money, nothing, just saying you want a partial scholarship? DMing me on my fucking birthday.
Okay,
all day.
I hear what you're. So
you know what I'm saying?
The way you just phrased that makes more sense. Probably because our industry is so scammy.
Yeah.
Right. So
I guess, yeah.
And I'm not going to disparage anybody, but like that's the thing, right? People are used to getting scammed by MLMs in particular.
Yeah. So that's where I was going. Like,
because that's a question I get a lot actually when I'm in my DMs. Is this actually Matt talking, or is this somebody on his team or a bot? So I do, send them a voice message right away.
Yeah. Same. I do the same.
Me. I get this all the time.
It's Beth. It's actually really me. Yeah. And you did win a scholarship. Okay. I promise. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well. Well, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I appreciate the healthy skepticism, I guess, but I also don't like if they specifically reached out to you and applied for the coaching. Why would it be a scam if you're reaching out?
Well, also, it's funny because when you fill out the scholarship form at the end, it's like, is it okay if we send you texts, emails, and you have the option to say no or yes.
Got it.
So I don't know. Wouldn't it be kind of obvious?
Always read what we sign up for.
The next day you get a text, and then some people were like, oh, did you even get my application? Because I didn't get a text for the partial scholarship. I'm like, probably because you opted out of texting.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you need to read and remember when you do these things.
That's our current, we talk about the social media effect on our society, but we don't pay attention to things like this anymore.
Yeah.
Like this is not just, we're not pinpointing anybody. This is us as a society does this shit because we have the attention span of a gnat anymore.
For real.
And that's partially, TikTok and social media is certainly to blame for that, but we don't read things. We sign up with things without reading. We don't read things like, it's tough. It's tough.
We got to pay attention. Listen,
our job as coaches is like,
I'm part of this too.
We don't want to be reminding you to read it. We want to coach you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you.
Yeah.
I think I talked about being coachable last week.
And that's the thing. You got to be coachable.
You got to be coachable.
You can't hire a coach and expect you to coach the coach. That happens. Like, well, I don't know if I should be, maybe you think I should be doing this. I think I should do this instead. Why did you hire me?
Yeah.
Obviously your way of doing things didn't fucking work. So I'm trying to help you here.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not going to say, well, no, I'm going to be doing this instead. I'm definitely not doing that. Okay.
For sure. It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
And being coachable is like, there's a lot of that goes into being coachable, but it's really just being open. Being
Yes.
open to trying new things, new
Mhm.
ways of thinking.
Yes. Growth mindset.
That's really what coaching is. It's challenging beliefs and challenging your way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's most, at least online sphere, that's most of what coaching is challenging your belief systems and your thoughts, I feel like.
Yeah.
So, Nerdle,
Mm.
we talked about kind of the comparison game. Something else I was kind of thinking about would be a good topic for us to talk about here is some self-care stuff, because I know this time of year, like I was just talking about with the holidays, yesterday was Christmas, whatever holiday you might be celebrating, it can be lonely if you're missing loved ones, friends, family, whatever it might be.
Mhm.
So it's really important for us to be, taking care of ourselves, like to combat those holiday blues.
Mm-hmm. Did we talk about that last one? Like that self-care is not
We
just
kind of
getting
did. I just
manny
maybe,
and
yeah.
petty.
Maybe it's
Self-care is actually eating vegetables and
yes,
sleeping and all that.
nutrition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we did kind of talk about that. But I actually found a really cool app that I wanted to talk about and for self-care, actually. And this is not sponsored, but it's called Finch. It's a really
Okay.
cool app for self-care.
Mhm.
So I talked about before the one app that I recommended on here, which was How We Feel, the emotion tracking app. And I know a lot
Yeah.
of people liked that. So this one is called Finch. So so take a look at this, Beth. It's like, you remember the Tamagotchis, like from when we were growing up, like back in the 90s, the virtual
Mhm.
pets that you had.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you get this little pet bird, and it's a finch. You give it a name and stuff, and you take care of it by taking care of yourself. So
That's
you
cool.
you tell the app like what your goals are, what you struggle with, and then it'll give you
Mhm.
goals that align with that, or you can give it your custom goals for self-care.
Okay.
Like some of the things it gave me: wash my face, take 3 deep breaths, do one thing that makes me happy. And it gave me a few other things that I already marked off for today. But you mark them off and then you earn points for it, which is really cool.
Okay.
So then when you earn
I'm
the
gonna
points, you
download this now.
yeah. So you earn points, and then you can take your little bird, your little finch, out on challenges, on quests and
How
stuff
cool.
by earning points. So it's a really cool way to
Uh-huh.
like gamify your health and fitness
Is
and
it
your
the
self-care.
Finch self-care pet?
Yes, Finch self-care pet. Yep.
Okay. Habit tracker, daily journal.
Yep.
Nice.
Really cool. Really cool. So I'm going to start toying around with that, and I'm going to implement that into my kind of self-care arsenal here and see where it goes. So that's definitely a
Okay.
recommendation there.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I love those types of things. And I know like a lot of our listeners like to gamify their fitness and track their fitness in fun ways.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
like with the water tracker, you can water a plant and things like that. So
Like in the Everfit app that we have for the workout part of coaching, they give you like, you lifted 20 rhinos already. And people
love seeing that
love
pop
that
up.
shit. Yes, so fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Gamifying things makes shit fun,
It does.
you know?
It does. It absolutely does.
Do that with kids. And it works.
It does. I do want to continue talking about self-care, but really quickly, talking about gamifying, we've got our challenge coming up, if you mind me plugging that really quickly, because that's kind of how like we do our challenge.
Mhm.
So like 1 week from when this episode comes out, January 6th, we're starting our 35-day Beat the Resolution Challenge. And we kind of gamify it too. So you earn points for completing your daily habits, kind of like we were just talking
Mhm.
about. So if anybody's interested in that, just check me out on Instagram or our website, Beat the Resolution Challenge. And we'd love to see you in there. It's a 35-day challenge. So
There you go.
yeah. So yeah, back to self-care. Like, what are some things you're doing right now, Beth, to just prioritize your own self-care? Like during this time of year, especially because, with the seasonal blues that can kick in for people, we
Mhm.
really have to be more proactive.
Currently, well, I'm walking right now while we're podcasting, and to me, that's self-care.
It is.
But I've been focusing on getting outside a few times a day, not just once,
Yeah.
and going for short bursts of walk because the air is really crisp and it's cold, but it feels really nice. So I've been doing that.
Cool. Those
I
things are so
mean-
important. The fresh air, like right now, the sunlight especially is very limited. So you have to, multiple exposures is a good idea there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, really what has been my self-care.
Your self-care. I mean, you have good basic self-care.
I mean, I
works for
just
you.
got a massage and a pedicure and a facial for my birthday. So that was
And
really the most self-care like that I've given myself in probably a couple years.
sure.
Like I said, I think
daily self-care type of things, like these little daily microtransactions.
I mean, I make sure that I eat my breakfast, my
You
lunch,
mentioned
my
nutrition
dinner.
earlier. Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to keep up with your normal schedule when you can. what I try to do the most is keep things as normal when they're not as they can be.
That's why it's so easy for you to get back on track, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
well,
Right?
maybe we should talk about that because I made a video the other day and there was really not a lot of context with it, right? And I feel like I should go more into context with it
Sure.
because
That's what this podcast is all about.
because it's a lot easier to say. It's easier said than done, right? It is. Like everything is
is.
easier said than done. Like just go back to normal. But here's the thing. When I say that, it's because if you have created a lifestyle that you can stick to, it really is. You have those habits and everything in place. So you really do just go back to normal. But how do you just go back to normal if you don't have a healthy lifestyle? Right. And I think that's something that you need to learn over time and create for yourself, like a reentry plan, like doing the same thing when you come back from vacation. Maybe that's ordering your groceries before you come home, planning your week ahead before you come home. Just
Mhm.
know, like when you come home, you do the same thing consistently all the time. So it's just easier for you. But if you're like doing random diets and you're fucking all over the place, it's going to be hard.
If you don't have a foundation with
You
your
know,
nutrition, if you
you
don't know what a
have,
balanced approach looks like with
yeah,
protein and fiber and healthy carbs, and yeah, you're going to
yeah.
struggle.
That's the thing. It's like you have to build that lifestyle that you can stick to, that you just do all the time anyway,
Hmm. Absolutely.
you know?
Mhm. And for movements too, like with getting back on track, it's more so about just fucking do something, dude. Right?
Yeah.
Like don't go, you don't have to go back to, if you've been off for 2 weeks, maybe going to the gym 4 days this week for an hour isn't realistic, but you know what? You
Mm-hmm.
can at least do half an hour, 4 days a week, or do something that's at least gonna, get you back making progress towards getting back on track, whatever that might look like for you.
Right.
And that's
And
really what we do all the time anyway. We practice that for the most part
mm-hmm.
mentality, adapting
Yeah.
and pivoting and modifying as needed. Not be
Yes.
so
And
fucking rigid.
I like to think that we're not even on a track because we're not a fucking choo-choo train. I think of our track as like our lifestyle, our health, right?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
getting back to your healthy habits.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. Because habits aren't something, that's what we get wrong, right? Is habits aren't something you're going to do every single day, good or bad, and there's never going to be a slip up or regression to a bad unwanted habit.
Mm-hmm.
It's more often than not, and you have to be very intentional with it.
Yeah. Like I created a habit of going to the gym. And so that's just what I do every week. And it's not necessarily something I do on vacation, but it's
Mhm.
something I do in real life all the
And when you
time.
don't do it, like you feel worse off for it.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Just like walking. I know for you too, you're keep up with your steps, keep up with your, active lifestyle. And that's what I do too.
Yep.
I know if I'm sitting around too much, I get up and I fucking move. It's like intention. It really, you have to be intentional
Absolutely. You do have to be intentional.
because I can be intentionally a lazy fuck too.
Or
So,
unintentionally. If there's no intention behind it, then you are just a lazy fuck, right?
right.
It could be.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't get me wrong, I love being lazy. Like I did that,
Oh man,
for the last
fuck
couple of
yeah.
days over the holidays. It was great. But now
Yeah.
it's time to get back to it. I
Right.
shouldn't say I was lazy because I still fucking crushed my movement and everything.
Well,
So,
see, that's the thing.
but outside of that, I didn't really do much.
Your
but-
version of lazy and other
It's
people's
true.
version of lazy are probably different.
Well, that's because for me, movement is a fucking non-negotiable,
Yeah,
right?
same.
It's a non-fucking negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
My life is better when movement is a part of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Point blank, period.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes.
Cool. So movement, of course, is foundational. So that's kind of like that self-care thing, showing up for
Mhm.
myself, going to the gym, going on that walk, even when it's hard to not do it. That's a big part of self-care. You
Yeah.
mentioned nutrition, right? So your body, when you've been traveling, when you've been away from your own home cooked meals, your
Mhm.
body's going to be telling you like, hey,
Oh,
I
yeah.
really need some vegetables, man. I really need some fruit. Get some fiber in me. So
Right. Right.
that's a very good form of self-care is nutrition.
Yeah.
Something that's very, I think, underrated, or maybe it's appropriately rated, because I've certainly talked about it, and I know this isn't necessarily your thing, but it's breath work.
Mm.
Breath work. So
Mhm.
one of my self-care rechargers, I'll say, I guess, in the Finch app, is to take 3 deep breaths. Literally.
Nice.
3 deep breaths, very intentional. And that's just like a pause, right?
Yeah.
Just being intentional with my
I
breath.
do that.
Yeah.
I do some breath work.
You
but
do breath
I don't,
work.
I don't
I was
really
wrong.
name it.
Yeah.
I just fucking do it when I'm in the,
Yeah, you're
in the
good
moment.
yeah.
But I do. Like if sometimes I'll have like a mini panic attack, and I have to snap myself out of it. I have lived with anxiety my entire life.
Hmm.
And so I have these things that no one would even know that I'm having a fucking anxiety attack except for me.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I have lived with it so much. I just automatically do these things to get me out of it. Like I'll breathe in 4 times, hold for 4, and then breathe out for 4.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go into the bathroom and I'll splash my face with cold water. There's all these different weird things that I do, or step outside and take deep breaths out in the cold air. Because
I
something
love
about
this.
the
These
cold
are
and
all self-care
anxiety.
things. Now we're pulling them out of you.
Yeah. See, I don't really, and the thing is, I don't really talk about them because
Yeah.
it's part of my,
Because it's just something you fuck. See, that's exactly
It's
what you were
just
saying.
something
It's just
I
something you do.
something I do. And I never really thought to talk about it.
These are all, fuck yeah, dude. You have all kinds of self-care hacks and tips that you're
guess so.
applying for yourself. Look at you, self-care nerdling over here.
Self-care, and I don't even realize it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I have little mini panic attacks a lot.
For sure.
It's
Totally
just
get that.
living with anxiety. And even with my anxiety medication, I still imagine without my anxiety medication, I would get them so bad I'd have to go to the hospital. I would think I'm dying.
Yeah.
I would get them so bad.
That was
It's crazy.
the last time I had a panic attack and I didn't realize that's what it was. I talked about this on the
Scary.
podcast earlier. Yeah,
Yeah.
very scary, very scary. So that's when I started like, okay, that's when I started looking at medication there too. So yeah.
It's like an out of body experience almost.
Mhm.
It's like, oh my God, am I going to fucking die? Am I literally going to fucking die right now?
Yeah,
know? Oh my
it's
God.
wild. So we mentioned vitamin D in a way with the sunlight, right? But I do think that can be something that's beneficial because you said that we talked about this last week, vitamin D with vitamin D supplementation. So I started taking that again after our
Good. Me
talk
too.
last week.
Me too. And consistently.
Yep. So that's on my morning supplementation routine along with my cured supplements.
Yep.
I started taking Cured Focus again
Okay.
to help me with this time of year because I know that this time of year it can be a struggle for myself, just like many other people. So adding that to my kind of self-care arsenal. So using the Cured Focus plus the vitamin D supplement that I've taken in the past as well. So yeah, and then of course the Serenity gummies, I'm still using those almost.
Yeah.
on a
I use
daily
those every
basis.
afternoon. I do.
Yeah. So that's also like self-care. We have a lot of people, like we talked about, this is our last episode of the year. So we're talking about New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals. What usually happens in January, a lot of people evaluate their relationship with alcohol. Dry January is a really cool thing.
Yeah.
So I think this could be a cool time, a cool opportunity for people to practice some of these types of self-care things that we're talking about instead of going to alcohol. So maybe you look at getting an app like Finch, right, to help you practice some self-care. One of your things in Finch could literally be say no to the drink or something like that, right? You can create these own things for yourself. It can literally be when I'm wanting to drink, I'm going to practice my breath work. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. When I want to take a drink, I'm going to go on a quick movement break. Okay. When I want to take a break and I'm feeling heightened, I'm going to take a Serenity gummy, something like that and that's really, having healthier coping mechanisms is really what it's all about.
Yeah. And having them down so you can actually look at them too, because in the moment you might not even think, right?
Yes, for sure. This self-care, like, because you just talked about how you didn't even realize that, like, what you were doing with self-care. It's because something you do. And so the best time to learn a skill, to implement a new habit, to build a new habit is you don't wait until the time is perfect. And you also don't wait until everything's on fire around you, ideally. You want to wait. You want to be doing these things.
Yeah. And these things take practice. They take practice. So practice them when you need to practice them.
Right.
Set up your environment for success as well. Stop trying to say you're going to do something and then put yourself in a situation that's going to make you hard to stick to that something.
Yep.
I'm not going to go, if I just quit drinking, I'm not going to go to the bar with a bunch of friends. Even with food, for instance, setting your environment up for success. If you struggle around a lot of cookies and chips and maybe don't have them in the house. So you don't have to. What is the word I'm looking for? It's a specific word, menopause, right?
You get tempted by it? So you're not tempted?
So you're not, there's a word, I can't remember.
It's all good. And I hear what you're saying, Beth, but what if somebody can't do that because they have a husband that likes that food or they have kids that like that food?
You need to have that conversation with them. And also maybe put them in a place that's not in direct contact of your eyes.
Yeah, let's be real here. Your snacks shouldn't be just sitting out anyway.
Stop having the shit on top of the fridge, on the counter, on the fucking table. Put it away.
Put your fruits and vegetables that can be out there.
Yes,
put those on the counter. That's a part of mindful eating is preparing your environment, right? Like you're talking about for success. Put your fucking cookie jar in the cupboard. Put your snack, your candy bowl that we all have. I've got a candy bowl. Put it in, the cupboard, the pantry, whatever. But if how many times do you walk through the kitchen? You don't even know why you're in the kitchen, but you're in the kitchen. And now you're going to see the fucking cookie sitting on the counter and you're going to grab a cookie because you saw it sitting there. But if you walk through the kitchen like you mindlessly do all the time and you look over and you see an apple on the counter, you're not going to be tempted to eat a fucking cookie.
Right.
It's psychology.
Yeah.
Set your environment up for success. I love that kind of little segue you just went on there. So I think it's a good time to wrap up. Yeah. This is the last episode of the year. It's been great.
It has been great.
We want to know also, we haven't got much feedback on the special episode we did last week. So
I think
it's also the time of year. It's probably this time of year, podcast listenership usually goes down and stuff anyway. Nobody's listening to podcasts. They're spending time with their family, right? So,
they're busy.
Totally understand that. Really quickly, before we go though, we do have a Cured Nutrition shout out to give since we were talking about them. If you are thinking about doing Dry January, you can actually get a great deal with Cured Nutrition since they do sponsor our podcast. It's 20% off of one-time orders. So anything you order, if you order Serenity Gummies, 20% off. Or if you do a subscription, you can do a regular subscription for that. It's 36% off, which is pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty fucking cool.
And then one other thing is they also have $50 off plus free shipping plus 20% off with our code. I do believe that might be factored into 36% off. I'm not sure exactly how that works. But it's for the Serenity Gummy Bundle. So check that out.
Nice.
Our code CTC, and that's curednutrition.com/CTC.
All right.
Yeah. Go team go.
Happy 2025. Yeah.
We've got goals for the podcast. We've got our personal fitness goals and business goals mapped out. And hopefully you guys have all been thinking about your goals too. We want to know about them. So drop us a message, email, comment, however you prefer to communicate with us and let us know what some of your goals are. Nice.
All right. Peace.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hope you enjoyed this episode, so why not share with a friend who needs to hear it? Send us a DM on Instagram or email us at cutthecrappod@gmail.com and join our Patreon at patreon.com/cutthecrappodcast. As always, we appreciate you and thanks for being here.